Hello everyone, this is part 10 of my shelf by shelf challenge where I choose a shelf and try to read or start as many books as possible off the shelf in order to determine whether I want to keep going, read the book, set it aside for later, or get rid of it. So this is the result of part 9 where I went through my collected authors shelf. These are authors I've either read or haven't read in the past. And since I had multiple books by each author, I chose at least one book per author to review. So I have Marcel Proust's Swann's Way. I have tried reading this book in the past. I didn't get very far because it's not the easiest book to read, so I started it over, and I enjoyed it enough to keep going. I also have this graphic novel of the book that I've also started along with this book. So I'm going to try to read both at the same time to try to get the most out of this story by doing the graphic novel and the book at the same time. So I am going to continue on with this challenge. I also started Orphan Pamuk's My Name is Red, and this book is just gorgeously written. This is an ancient story. I read the first 2 chapters. This is a mystery, a murder mystery, I believe, because the first chapter, so beautifully written, is about a dead body, talking about his death. What is chapter 2 about? I think it skips to a different. Let me refresh my memory, even though I just read this yesterday. This is I guess someone comes back to Istanbul. Yeah, he's talking about the changes in the city. So let's see. At once a fiendishly devious mystery, a beguiling love story, brilliant symposium on the power of art. My Name is Red is a transporting tale set amidst the splendor and religious intrigue of 16th century Istanbul. Even though I'm not 100% sure I understand what this book is about yet, each chapter seems very different. I started the 3rd chapter and it was narrated by a dog. The chapters are very short. So it's not like I read that much of it. But I do love it. I love the writing. So I'm going to keep going with this book. This is the 3rd book by this author that I'm reading. I read the first book he wrote, The White Castle. I was not a fan of The White Castle. I ended up unhauling it. And then I read Snow, which I absolutely loved. That book was incredible. That was more modern day story about religious issues and political issues in, I want to say, what country was it? Turkey? I think it was Turkey. Yeah, it's been like 2 or 3 years since I read it. But anyway, I'm going to keep going with My Name is Red. I also started Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. I really need to look up to see if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a Polish writer who won the Nobel Prize in Literature, and I picked this book up of the 3 that I had. I also have the book of Jacob and Flights because it was the shortest. I've never read this author. I don't know what to expect. Plus, this book is so famous. Even though her other 2 books are also so famous. But this is a murder mystery told on the Polish border. They are on the border between, oh my gosh, I forget exactly. It's kind of an isolated region, and someone is dead. One of the neighbors is dead, and then the mystery, I think more people die, and I have to figure out who the killer is. So, so far so good. Again, gorgeous writing, totally obsessed. I'm going to keep going on this one. I started Emma by Jane Austen. I have the hardest time reading Jane Austen, but Emma's nice. I think this is Clueless this is like the original source material for Clueless with Alicia Silverstone, which I think I liked enough. It's a cute story. I'm going to keep going. Seems like a lot of stuff going on. It's a pretty long book. I think I might end up enjoying it. I read the first 2 chapters and they were cute. So we'll see. This is so far so good. I also started Libra by Dawn DeLillo, and I think I read the first 2 chapters of this one so far, and I like it. It's Lee Harvey Oswald as a child, and it's the trouble he has growing up. I don't know how much of this is fictional or whether he used original source material to try to make the book realistic, but I'm enjoying it so far, so I'm going to keep going on this one. Also, The Island by Aldous Huxley. Really enjoying this one so far. This is a book about a man who he went through some trauma, and then he kind of wakes up. And the first chapter was really mesmerizing. He's kind of going back and forth between the trauma and then waking up on this island where he is shipwrecked, I believe, and it's a utopian society. It's fascinating. So far, so good. Really enjoying this one. I am almost done with this one. So if I had to choose a book, the winning book from this haul, because every 2 episodes, so every episode, the first episode is me going through the shelf, and the second episode is reviewing me reading the shelf. And every single one of those, I've had a winning book, a book that I just haven't been able to put down. And this is the winner, Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. Totally obsessed, almost done with this book, couldn't put it down. This book is about these boys who are obsessed with these girls. It's a house full of girls, 5 sisters. Is it 4 or 5? 5 sisters. And they all commit suicide. The boys are just kind of obsessed with them. They all have crushes on them, and then they're trying to figure out what happened. And the writing is just incredible. Oh my gosh, this author, I have 3 books by him. I need to get more. But yeah, incredible writing, totally mesmerizing book, fascinating. I just finished We Need to Talk About Kevin, which was the winning book in my previous Shelf by Shelf. Very similar, but like more of a girl perspective. Talking about teenage depression, mental health issues, parenting. I mean, again, there's no answer to why the child did what they did, but again, incredible book. Love this book. I started Rabbit Run by John Updike. I mean, it's okay. I'll keep going. It's not offensive so far. It's just a man dealing with middle age, whatever. We'll see. I don't know. I invested in 4 books in the series, all of the Rabbit books, without ever reading anything by John Updike. So I might as well make a good effort to finish at least book 1. I started The Namesake by Jhumpa Lampiri. Love the first chapter. This was amazing. It's talking about this couple, and the wife is having a baby, and the husband doesn't really seem too invested in anything. And then it kind of at first he seems kind of like I don't know, not a very great husband. But then you kind of go back in time and you see the trauma he's been through, and like some of the crazy experiences he's had, and influences on his life. And I kind of like that. I kind of like where he's presented in one way, not in the most sympathetic way. And then you kind of learn a lot about the character and where he came from. I love when books do that. But so far, so good. Absolutely love The Namesake. I'm a huge fan of Interpreter of Maladies. That short story collection was incredible. So I'm so excited to keep going on this one. I also started Ballet, Life Behind the Scenes, and this is more of a book than I thought. I thought this was going to be more photographs, but this is really talking about these dancers, various ballet schools and companies across the United States and the world, and it's fascinating. I'm totally into this book. It's kind of an antique. I think if you try to buy it new, it's very expensive. I think. I don't know if this is the book I'm thinking of, but I like this book so far. I'm really enjoying it. And then I kind of started The Art of Singing. So far, so good. I'm enjoying it so far. As long as it's telling me that anyone can sing and every voice is special, and here's just some exercises to make me feel a little more comfortable. That's all I really need, because my entire life I've been told that I can't sing and I shouldn't sing, and that my singing is offensive. So I feel like that's just negative brainwashing. And now that I'm in my 40s and I'm trying to get on the stage as often as possible, and I am required to sing while I'm on stage, I need something to get me out of my head and get all the negativity out of my head. So I feel like this book will help. So far, so good. The Pilates Body, I started reading this, and I actually took a Pilates class last week that hurt my back really bad. I've been recovering from this back injury all week. I think it's mostly gone, or mostly healed. But it's funny, I was going through this book, and this is exactly all the exercises in this order that our teacher had us do in the class. I might as well hold on to this book to try to understand Pilates a little better. I've been doing Pilates my whole life, and I do feel like I get injured a lot during Pilates classes. So, but this is a pretty good book, so it has a lot of good exercises, and it discusses them. Okay, so those are the good books. Now the books that I was not a fan of. Someone please try to convince me to read Middlemarch, please. someone make a good argument for Middlemarch. I have Middlemarch, student companion to the novel, which isn't very well rated, but it's all I could really find. And then I have this book called The Things That Matter, and it's essays about 7 classics and how they discuss the stages of life. And Middlemarch is in the marriage section, so I'll probably read the essay. But this book is, I guess, almost unreadable to me. I just can't seem to care at all about the plot or about the writing or about the characters. I know it's a classic. I know it's like one of those classics that change people's lives and they abandon their entire plan and just pursue reading Middlemarch and understanding Middlemarch. I don't know. Well, I'm like really leaning towards giving up on this one, and I'm only 2 pages in. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. Please, someone convince me. Ballerina Body by Misty Copeland. This book is very disappointing. She provides some very, very basic exercises, very basic introduction to ballet, which I don't really need. She talks about meal planning, and all of the recipes that she presents look really gross to me. Like, every single one of them made me kind of sick looking at it. A lot of foods that I just don't eat. A lot of very basic food guidance and lots of very pretty pictures of herself. I don't know. I don't think I need this book. And also she provides a story of herself. I think this book is written for children who are interested in ballet. So I'm going to let this one go, unfortunately. I was going to read the other book by her that I have, which is The Hate Ship, Friendship, Courtship, and Love Ship. But I decided to switch to this one because I have read this one in the past and I just didn't care for it. So I wanted to see if trying it again now would change my mind. And again, I just don't like it. I read the first short story in this collection, and it was called To Reach Japan. And I didn't like it. It's just about a woman who wants to cheat on her husband, and she has some very questionable experiences, and you don't really understand why or who cares, or I don't know. There's really no point to it. I didn't feel it. I don't know. Maybe I'll read a few more chapters in this book or a few more short stories. But I don't think this is her best work. We'll see. I'm leaning towards DNFing and unhauling this one. Oh, so disappointing. This is to help me with Emma. This is okay. So A Treasury of Hercule Poirot. I actually pulled off a few books to read. I was going to read The Murder on the Links, and then I was going to read Murder at the Vicarage, which is a Miss Marple story. It's the beginning of Miss Marple, I think. That's the first Miss Marple book. And I love Miss Marple. I think she's one of the best characters in literature. Even though she is a bit sexist, she seems to kind of hate women. But it's fine, I guess, because she is a woman. It's odd. But she seems like a really great character. Poirot, it has some amazing books out there that I love. The Best of Poirot, which, what are they? Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, the ABC Murders. I love all those books. These are the beginnings of Poirot. So Murder on the Links, of which I have a duplicate. I have this really, really cute little standalone, and then I have it in this collection. The collection is called Treasury of Hercule Poirot Mysteries. And this book has The Mysterious Affair at the Styles, which is book 1. That's the introduction to Poirot. Then Murder on the Links, which is book 2, this book. And The Grey Cells of Monsieur Poirot, which is a collection of short stories. Now, I read the Miss Marple short stories, and I thought they were amazing. I was just at the edge of my seat. Every single story was amazing. Loved them. I so far have read most of this book. I read the beginning of the first book, and I read the first story of The Grey Cells of Monsieur Poirot, and they all suck. I don't know. I feel like I should finish this book just because I'm such a fan of Agatha Christie. Poirot is such a fuddy-duddy, and Hastings, his friend, is so annoying and stupid. And the mystery in The Murder on the Links is so boring. And same thing with the Gray Cells. What was the first story that I read? The Gray Cells is just a collection. The first story in this collection is just so bland. I don't know if they get better, but we'll see. I don't even know. Oh, and then we'll see about The Mysterious Affair. But these are not these books are not well rated. I just don't know if it's worth holding on to mediocre Agatha Christie content. So I'm definitely going to get rid of this one because there's no reason to keep duplicates of a book I don't even like. I might continue on with this and read some more of it before I get rid of it, just because maybe I owe it to Agatha Christie. Then finally, John Irving's The Cider House Rules. I loved The World According to Garp. I read the book when I was in college and I was obsessed with it, and I read it many times since then. And every time I read it, I'm just breathless with love for The World According to Garp. This book is not good for me. I mean, a lot of people love Cider House Rules. I just, right off the bat, was not into it. I think I'm on chapter 2 now. I don't even remember. Somewhere, whatever. It's such a strange story. It's all about abortion and just going back and forth on abortion. And about this boy who is stuck in an orphanage for the most ridiculous reasons. It's I guess a lot of his books are kind of weird and silly at the beginning, how the main characters come about. But this one is really silly, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to read this entire book. I might just read a few more chapters and then unhaul it. I don't think I'm going to like it. Plus, I read the synopsis, and I'm not feeling it. It's a bit tedious. Yeah, so that's disappointing. I'm not sure. I do want to go back to A Prayer for Owen Meany just because it's such a famous book. I don't know if I'll end up reading A Son of the Circus. I might just not be a fan of John Irving. I might just love one book by this guy and that's it. So this was a disappointment. I really thought I was going to get really excited about the Cider House Rules. And, but so far it's just been so silly, and just, it's hard for me to get into this story. Anyway, so that is this stack. This is the conclusion of the 9th part. So this is part 10. I have these books left over from that challenge, which I will pick up at my own convenience now that I've dug into these authors. And then the next shelf I'm probably going to do, and I have 2 options. I can either do this one. So these are the combination of my sci-fi, fantasy, and horror books. And the way I've organized it is series that I haven't started are here. Series that, sorry, it's kind of messy. Let me move this. Books by authors I've read before are here. And then series I've started are here that I need to just keep going on. But this book are all authors that I have not, they're kind of standalone, and they are all authors I have not yet read. So there's quite a few, and I'm kind of wanting to do this one because that sounds fun to me. And then the other option I have is this shelf. These are all authors I have tried and either love, mostly love, yeah. Authors I've tried that I love, and I need to finish these books by these authors. So I'll probably do the sci-fi shelf next because that sounds fun to me. And I am due for some sci-fi because I've been reading a lot of realistic fiction books for this challenge. Anyway, thank you for watching.